meeting and start with the pledge. Stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with a roll call.
Roll call, yes. Lisa.
Here.
Colorado, here. Warren Berger.
Here.
John has an excused absence. Alexa is, Alexander Bowe, sorry, absent. Margaret Schneider.
Here.
Okay, Mike Miller.
Here.
And Lloyd is, McKinley is also excused absence.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
We approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So it's approved. Margaret. Vote passed.
I move to approve the meeting minutes as written.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and the approval, unanimous approval of the minutes. We only have a discussion items today, so I don't think we have any disclosure of conflicts that we need to talk about. I don't think we have any unfinished business, right?
No.
So new business, we want to welcome our new member, Warren Berger, and I was wondering if you could, I know you kind of introduced yourself when you walk in, but for the people who might be watching or whatever, talk a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Introduce yourself.
If you press the button on there, green is.
He's on.
Oh, I think I'm on already. Okay. My name is Warren Berger. I am a fairly recent transplant to Cocoa Beach, permanently in the last 6 years. Both of my daughters have gone to Cocoa Beach High School. My younger one is a senior. I own a financial planning firm here in Cocoa Beach, and my background is in New York. I had I ran trading desks on Wall Street for 27 years. Decided to slow that down a little bit and make my way south. And, I was just saying that, we've had a really good experience, both my wife and I, in Cocoa Beach, and my daughter's going to school here, and this town's been very good to us, and we really, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to be here and help out as best I can. Thank you.
Okay, and the next order of business is to get a nomination and vote on a vice chair.
I move that we defer election of a chair until a future meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
So we will take that on when we have, I guess we should make sure that we're okay with it. We have a motion and a second. We have all approved, say aye.
Aye.
Did you, Margaret? Did you say, did you approve?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So it's unanimous approval to defer that item till the next time. And then I guess we have the main topics or the board discussion topics. And I think those are provided attached here. I don't know if we have them. Do we show them for people who might be watching? I don't know if anybody's watching.
I don't have a computer system here, but
We can just talk.
they will be available.
They're
on
posted.
On the website.
Okay. Did you want to introduce this at all, or do you want to just get moving?
Well, I can
Talk.
start it and then I'll let you guys talk about it, but.
Okay.
The comprehensive. The first one is a comprehensive plan. That's required by the Florida Statute, Chapter 163. The city's comprehensive plan must be updated every 7 years. And per this schedule, the next update must be completed by January 2028. This process is known as the Evaluation and Appraisal Report, the EAR, and will kick off in late 2026. The goal of the EAR process is to determine if any updates are needed to the plan since it was last updated in 2021. Updates can be associated with the changes in state law, local conditions, or to reflect evolving community aspirations. A planning consultant will be engaged to assist the city with its data gathering, public engagement / workshops, and drafting a new plan policy language. The planning board will be involved in an advisory capacity and will ultimately make the recommendations to the city commission on possible plan amendments.
Okay, I just wanted, a lot of what these topics are things that we've talked about in the planning board over the last, I don't know, several years, or that we just kind of collected into one discussion topic, that these topics didn't really get closed out, I guess, or closed the loop on them. So this is just sort of how we came up with this kind of list. And thank you for you guys, you and David, for putting it all together into an agenda. And
Yeah,
so
Madam
we
Chairman.
can talk through it. And I think a lot of the items that are underneath this comp plan may end up being inputs or initiate conversations that may lead to a comp plan change, which is kind of what we were thinking when we were talking about. So, okay, go ahead, Dave.
Definitely, thank you. Yeah, I'd just like to add to kind of the umbrella statement about what we're doing here this evening. As some of you know, I know Warren is new, so this is more maybe for his benefit than the other board members, but the planning board is definitely an advisory board to the city commission. And it's really a sounding board, if you will, that there's topics and issues that'll bubble up from the community. And as staff becomes aware of them, or as board members bring them to our attention, we have these conversations about policy issues. And that's really what we're here doing this evening, is just to kick it off. We're not, obviously, this is just the beginning. This is just an opportunity for staff to start to hear feedback from the board. And as board members, you represent the community. You are the voice of the community. And you're all lay members. You do this out of your love for the community and your interest in the community. And we're here to work as a team, the board and the staff and the city attorney's office. We're here to work as a team, to hear these issues, to work through them, to massage them, if you will, and then present a recommendation, if it gets that far, to the city commission, who will then take these recommendations and either do nothing with them, which happens sometimes, or they will, typically it's through ordinance changes. They will implement these recommendations into city policies, whether it's the comp plan or the land development regulations or other things. And staff, we use those policy statements in the comp plan and in the land development regulations. That's what we use as staff as we're dealing with the public when we're building the community, when a developer comes in and wants to do something, or a homeowner wants to do something with the property. That's what we use. We use our land development regulations. So it's really, this is where it all starts here this evening. And it'll go through a process, and ultimately it'll end up in our policy books if it gets that far. So, and Mike is a past city commissioner, so he's been on both ends of it. So he understands very well how it works. So anyways, I just wanted to say that. But yes, you're exactly right, Madam Chairman. This is the comp plan. The evaluation and appraisal report is this board's and the community's opportunity to say, hey, this hasn't been working in the last 7 years, or we didn't think about this 7 years ago, and we want to address that now, and so we'll make those changes in our comp plan every 7 years. So we'll really get into it next year.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. One, is the staff aware of any serious deficiencies in the plan based on recent state laws?
I wouldn't say serious deficiencies. I mean, our city attorney's office is very, very good about alerting staff when the legislature does something up there
Right.
during session and they pass something that, we need to jump on that and make changes. Typically, we don't have to go into our comp plan. Typically, it's changes to our land development regulations.
Yeah, we can still change the development regulations. I'm fairly familiar with the plan. I don't know of any deficiencies. Really, I think it's still pretty solid. I would support, it's still where it is. The question I have is this a budget? Do we need to budget for the planning consultant for next year?
Yes, the answer is,
Yeah.
we will be budgeting for a consultant. It will be in the not this coming year's budget, which starts in a couple of weeks, but it'll be in the following year's budget. We'll be starting that process with our consultant in about a year from now.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So yes.
I think it's pretty solid. We did a pretty thorough review in 2014, went months at a time, and I think we made some pretty good adjustments at that time. And
Yeah, I'd say in general, the plan is aged very, very well.
yes.
Unlike some of us, ooh.
Thank you, Dave.
Are there any other, do you have any comments on this?
I'm kind of listening and learning right now, so bear with me.
One of the things I would like to put on our discussion topics, and then I spoke to Corey about this, is that in the past 3 years that I've been on the planning board, I think we've had 8, correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, developments that came through that we have provided a recommendation about, and they all seem to have disappeared. And I think it's important for us to know what the status is, because, for example, I have seen 3 of them on various sites for sale. So and I understand that some people will propose a development, get the approvals, and sell it, because that just enhances their ability to get more money. But I think it's important for us to know where these things are.
Actually,
And if there's a timetable to put a shovel in the ground.
I have an update for you tonight. It didn't make this, but after we get through this, I'll give you all an update on the current projects and what information we have.
No, so this is good. I had the same question Mike did. Is it a budgeted item for the consultant? And then we probably should just recommend putting that topic, I don't know, fourth quarter of 2026 or something towards the end on what the more detailed plan will be on how you're going to roll it out and get input from the community or whatever, however the consultant.
Our consultant will be.
Or do that.
Will be coming to the board and picking your brain, and then
Okay.
they'll be specifically tasked with conducting neighborhood meetings. I'm sure there's going to be some type of an online presence, a survey, if you will, gathering information from the community. That's really the significant part of this, is
Yeah.
what are the community's wishes? It's not just what Corey and I think is best, or the board. It's just a group effort.
I believe we could make spot amendments or adjustments that come at any time, right? This is just a top-to-bottom review is maybe not warranted at this time.
Yeah, back when I was a very young planner, way back a long time ago, it was known as the Department of Community Affairs up in Tallahassee. They regulated all of the comp plan and what we could and couldn't do, and we were allowed 2 a year. But I think that standard may have been removed from statute, I think. But you're right. We can, as needed, we can make those changes. Yes, sir.
Sorry, Margaret?
I'm also glad to see affordable housing, because as you know, that's been my thing the past couple
Yes.
of
No, no,
years.
move on to the next one.
And what I'd really like I'd like to elaborate on your points here of what we need to cover. I think we need to cover what we need to do as a city to implement affordable housing, and whether that be assessing developments that come in, 5% of the units be affordable, whatever, or money goes into a fund before, and I'm afraid that's right around the corner, before the state or the county tells us how many units that we're going to have. And that's going to happen, because I saw it happen where I came from.
Sure.
Everybody, they were lackadaisical about it, and then all of a sudden the state and county said, okay, you're doing 20 houses, you're doing 70 houses, or 70 affordable units. And it's very hard. You can't, people think you can fight that. It's very hard to fight that. So I hope we're thinking in terms of what we're going to do to implement a really solid affordable housing program in Cocoa Beach.
You know, I did a little research before coming in here, and the medium house in Cocoa Beach, on average is $467,000. It's amazing. I mean, downtown, it's anywhere from 174,000 to over $1 million. And down south, Cocoa Beach is 600,000 plus,
What's the median income? That's what's critical here.
89,000.
So it's 30% of the median income, which is, somebody here is much smarter than I am about math, but that's got to be just under 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brevard County is 75,000, 75,800. I mean, so we're higher on average, but still the housing is, so that's going to be a challenge for us, I'm sure.
I had a question on that. The mandates that you discussed that you've seen elsewhere, where they, state or county comes in, have we seen that happening in Brevard County, where the county has come in and mandated certain affordable housing in certain areas?
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's happening.
It's going, it's
Yeah.
right now, the whole concept of providing affordable housing in this area is in its infancy stages. And what I'm saying is, we have to think about getting ahead of the curve. In other words, we have to say, Cocoa Beach has committed to do 20 units of affordable housing, 5 units of affordable, whatever it is. And I understand there's a big discrepancy between the market value of the homes, because where I come from, the market average was, I think it was $989,000. So I understand that, but I just am very happy we have this on the agenda, and I don't want to belabor it now, but that's my goal. My goal is to come up with a plan that everybody can live with.
Okay.
So I guess, and I get from what you were saying, it's really looked at from a county probably or state level. It's not a citywide, it's not, but we certainly aren't contributing, and we aren't helping the situation,
No.
that's for sure. So,
Affordable.
am I right about that? It's really kept at a county or higher level and not a city tracking?
Yes, that's partially correct. The county really doesn't really have much authority to preempt the city with respect to land use regulation. It's mainly the state of Florida.
Yeah.
The state legislature has been on a major preemption kick the last decade or so. And we've seen that recently with the Live Local Act, with the recently passed SB 180, emergency management legislation that cities and counties across the state are dealing with right now, and how it's impacting their land development regulations and the undoing of what you have to do, even ordinances that were passed over a year ago in some instances. So there's significant preemption. I would say that's a main challenge right now for our office in trying to help the city achieve some of its goals. I know you all are very familiar with that with respect to vacation rentals, the preemption that we've seen from the state in the last few years, but and that's constantly changing. You never know what bill is going to pop up in session. And usually if someone comes up with an idea in year one, if it survives to year two, it means we're probably going to have to deal with it. And that's what we've seen recently. Some legislature comes up with an idea one year, and the next year they pass it without much thought, and we're holding this bucket of new law that we don't know what it means. We don't know how it's going to affect us. We don't even know if it's legal. But it's a serious issue right now for cities.
I feel like this is one we're going to need, probably the legal and like some ideas. I know you're putting together some, or you're thinking about it, but I was thinking about it too, is, even if there was a way to, from a lower level, from a city view, from our land development code almost, looking at it, is there a way to even maybe create a new affordable housing category and give some relief to that category if they're willing to renovate an old units into making them meet smaller minimum sizes or maximum lot sizes and things like that, so that if we can do our part to at least incentivize them to not have to follow the same standards that we have for residential, if they're willing to make it more compatible with the median income and the 30% of the median income against it, that maybe we could incentivize that by relieving some of the more restrictive standards.
We
in some
definitely
areas.
have a big challenge here in this particular area. And what I read about was ski towns and beach towns. To have the people live here that work here kind of thing, and the affordable housing is a big
Difficult.
challenge. Yeah,
I mean, it's really motherhood and apple pie. People,
Exactly.
it's not Section 8 housing, it's housing for your firemen, for your policemen, for your teachers.
Yep.
And you can, the law, at least the law in New York, permits you to make those categories.
Yeah.
Depending on what the necessity is in your own individual community. So they will allow you to do that. And I think we'll find that in the beach towns, and in Cocoa Beach particularly, because that's where we live, that our median income for those groups is a lot higher than 30,000. So it's just a question of space. I mean, any developer will say, you know, I'm building 140 units, and 135 of them are going to be 2,200 square feet, and 5 of them are going to be 1,600 square feet, two bed. And that's all it is. It's just a
all
matter
part
of
of the
space.
development agreement, yeah.
Or alternatively, if you're like a COA, and you don't want to have the affordable units in your building, then you put money into a fund. So the municipality can find a piece of property and build something, you know, but it's critical. It's critical.
Would any of these issues fall under the purview of the review of the comprehensive plan, or would this be outside of that?
The comprehensive plan is made up of, I think, 8 or 9 elements or chapters. One of the chapters, we have a housing chapter in there. And so it would be very appropriate for the comp plan to include some affordable housing policy. Now, it all comes down to the political will and support of the elected officials in Cocoa Beach. And so that's that. I don't have a sense of that. You folks probably have a better sense of that than I do. But that's ultimately where the rubber's going to meet the road. But I will, just one quick comment, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There is, Garrett mentioned Senate Bill 180. That's a major issue for us. And if, for those of you who don't know about Senate Bill 180, basically the state has said, locals, you cannot adopt rules that is more onerous or more difficult for developers or homeowners or property owners to work with. Our hands are tied for 2 years. I think it's 2 years. So we're going to, that doesn't mean we can't be working on anything, but we're gonna have to keep that in mind as we move all of this forward.
Mike?
I've looked into this. I'm not prepared to make a proposal tonight, but I really have looked into it in detail. But let me put a few thoughts out there for you to start to be thinking about. The obstacle to affordable housing in Cocoa Beach is the land cost. Most houses in Cocoa Beach, I'd say at least 2/3 to 3/4 of the value of the house is in the land.
Yeah.
I did some research and determined that overall, I think the land cost in Cocoa Beach is something like about $2 million an acre, so, and we're only allowed 10 units per acre, so that adds $200,000 to the cost of the house immediately, regardless of what it costs to build. I think we should need to be thinking about a plan that gets around that issue, and the Live Local Act would do that. And what the Live Local Act says is a municipality cannot, they have to approve a project from a zoning standpoint if it has at least 40% of the units are affordable. That would spread the land cost over a larger number of units and possibly get into a doable. That's where I think we need to head. That's what I've been looking into.
Yeah, it may cause, like, you might have to get creative, kind of almost like you said, sometimes maybe it's some of the bigger developments contribute to a fee, you know, and it starts building up, or, I don't know, maybe we ask if there's anybody who would donate a piece of land or an old unit that, you know, they're getting rid of. I mean, we probably don't do that very often. I don't know, it might be pretty optimistic that think somebody might do it, but you never know, maybe
I think
somebody would.
the road to making affordable housing an attractive option for developers is to get the land cost down.
Yeah, that and
That's the
I just
objective.
don't want to give up, that's all.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we got to try something.
We're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, this is happening
Yeah,
all across the
everywhere.
country. So we just have to be creative as it applies to this little strip of land that we have, and you're 100% right. We don't have a lot of land. But again, my experience is when it comes to the state, they don't think about that. They think about this is your share. Go figure it out.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm saying is, and I'm delighted that it's on the agenda, on the plans for discussion topics in the future, because it gives us an opportunity to take the first steps so that we're prepared when the bullet gets fired, and it will get fired.
I'd be curious to know if there are any sort of templates that are out there of other communities that have explored this option and done it successfully. I wonder if there's any other communities in Florida where we've seen this happen. You might, or might not have.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into the depths of that.
I mean, Cocoa Beach is pretty unique. There's just not a lot of similar communities in the state. I mean, there's a lot of beach towns, obviously, but because of our size and the amount of development area that's left, which is very little. I think we're 97%
Yeah.
built out. So, but the quick answer is yes. There's a lot of programs out there that we can look at and tailor to our needs. So, yeah, I don't think it's insurmountable. I mean, communities the city of Cocoa Beach has two ability to really influence things. One is the regulations, and the other is monetary issues. It's probably easier to deal with the regulation side of it, but anyways, it's a lot. We got a lot of work ahead of us on this
Yeah.
issue.
I was looking at the bigger issue of why aren't people investing, building any kind of housing? Very little has gotten built. I've been in this position for 10 years, and not a whole lot's gotten built despite the changes that we made. And so I was asking the question, why aren't people investing? And the answer is, well, the land costs are very high. Why are the land costs very high? Well, there's very little land available. We're 96% built out, so there's very little land available. It's
Everything is
attractive
through development.
because we're a beach town,
And we're not vertical.
and
We're
we're
not-
limited to 10 units per acre. So those are the obstacles we need to get beyond to make this happen, in my opinion. And not just us, but the commission has to have the political will to want to support this.
I have a very good friend of mine who works for one of the largest affordable housing developers in the state, Pinnacle Development. They're out in South Florida. If the board would like, I could see if I could get Tim to come up here and speak to the group, to the board about affordable housing, really throughout the
I'd love it.
state.
Yes.
And how we here in Cocoa Beach could what options are available for us? How could we incentivize or attract these developers here? These are private sector. He's a private sector company. His company deals mostly with low-income housing tax credits, which is a great program. If the board
Yeah,
would
that'd be
like
great.
that,
Should have them.
next time we schedule this topic to come up, I'll see if I can get Tim to come up here and just give like a 15, 20-minute presentation to the board. I think that could be really helpful.
Great.
Thank you.
The next topic was green space. This is one that's come up several times.
Yeah, and that one seems like we're ahead of the curve on that one, according to standards anyway.
Do you count like our Thousand Islands counted in any of that? Because that's a lot of land. I mean, they're not really
That's a
usable,
great
but
question.
it's green space and it's not going to be developed. And it's tourist, I mean, you can use it, you can go to some of the islands and all. Is that part of it or?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'll have to find out. It's a great question.
Well, I just am looking on the website for the county about size of parcels and adding it up. Yeah, I think that 239 acre number is low, and I'll tell you why. I think there is actually, there's 229 acres on the parcel that the golf course is on alone. Now, part of that land is used for the wastewater treatment plant, and I just eyeballed it and said, well, that might be 30 acres. So I think you got 200 acres in golf course, the tennis courts, and the pool. That's just my eyeball
that
of
could
it
be,
was.
yeah.
The other thing that I may not be included is we've had a lot of leisure facilities on the school board property.
Sure.
The high school and the elementary school, that's a 90-acre parcel. And again, I just eyeballed it. It looked like about half of that, the back part, which would be, half would be 45 acres, is 4 ball fields and,
Skate
soccer
park.
fields and everything that lend themselves to leisure. And the other one I wrote was the Thousand Islands, are available there, green space. And here's my rule, curveball. We've got a huge park in that beach that's out there. It's 6 miles long, a beach that people use for leisure and recreational activities. So I think we're in real good shape on leisure services.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
No, that's good to know because it sort of comes up and we're like, I don't know, what are we shooting for? What are we supposed to have? And,
Have there been people that have raised the idea of wanting more green space than we currently
It comes
have?
up sometimes in the public meetings and mainly when a developer came in, and some of the bigger developments, and they're supposed to have a certain amount of
Right.
green space within their development.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes up then and, but
I'll
we never
definitely check on
really,
the
like,
Thousand
circled
Islands, see if
back,
that's
yeah.
part of it or not.
Yeah, because it almost, the Thousand Islands, and I think, is it all the stuff that's impermeable? Like, I guess the tennis courts, maybe not considered that, but any of the fields and I don't know. I didn't know how it was counted. That's kind of, like, how do you
I would think-
advertise how much green space we actually have?
Yeah.
To know if you have enough or
Let me see if
not.
I can
There's
get,
hundreds of acres in the Thousand Islands.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, I mean, it's a good chunk of,
maybe I can find the definition of that, see what it includes and what it doesn't.
yeah, to like counter the,
But this
Bait,
school
just-
property is legitimate because we pour a huge amount of money into the maintenance and operation of those ball fields, the lighting for the, we really have a joint venture with the school board for those facilities. And
Yes, indeed.
okay. The
Okay.
next one is the hospital. Track down some, we are here in rumor mill only stuff, so it
Yeah,
sounds like it
that's-
got official.
Sounds like that's going to stay open. They're going to try to keep that as a emergency area as somewhere down the future,
Oh, really?
probably until somebody throws money at them or something.
Do we?
I mean, they're talking about keeping it open until they get their other facility open, but then I heard rumors that it was going to be kind of like emergency only kind of thing for a while, or
Like medical services, labs and stuff, I
Yeah.
guess, because, but do
no
we know how?
live-ins or,
I
you
know
know, people
that's-
staying there.
That sounds like the hospital's perspective, but do we know if the state is interested in all in doing anything with that property or maintaining it or no?
I don't know if the state's interested.
I think you've described this accurately. The fact is, it's just the state has a trust which owns the land. They just allow the hospital to use it.
There, yep.
Yeah.
When I used to have people complain to me because the land is owned by a trust, it's a nonprofit, they don't pay taxes, but it's a commercial venture that's actually using them as things. Shouldn't they pay taxes? And I said, that's beyond my pay grade, really. Somebody attorney needs to take on that issue.
And one of the rumors was that one of the reasons they were moving out, the building's old, whatever, but that it was sinking. So I don't know if it was something that even would be
I haven't heard that
usable
one.
at some point, like, is it because it's, it's built on that, and it has been like, I don't know if that's true, but,
Well, the hospital's really not sharing with us what their plans are
Yeah.
moving forward, and that kind of puts this on the real long range.
Until they get their other
decision.
building, I'd imagine we won't know the real
And
plan.
I also think a major key here is to, yes, talk to the hospital, but even more importantly, talk to our state representatives.
Yeah.
What does the state have in mind? It's going to revert to them. According to what I'm reading here, as soon as the new facility is built, it's going to revert to the state. What do they have in mind? I mean, they'd like to see it become a tax-generating piece of property, I mean, or not.
I think they'll defer to the hospital. What does the hospital want to do with it?
And not to Cocoa Beach. That's very interesting.
it's just one of those big items. I know it feels a long ways away, but if we're ever going to do anything with it, it's probably going to be when it's a turnover like this, when they're, shutting down or moving out, because that opportunity comes, every decades
Yeah.
ahead, if we need to have like thoughts about what the plan would be if the state,
If the state says,
Doesn't
hey,
want it.
can you guys use it?
or we want to
Because
propose
do we
an
get a chance
alternative.
to even use it?
Do we want to propose any kind of alternative to that? And maybe not, maybe the medical, I don't know, center or whatever they're going to keep it is the best thing for the community, maybe, I don't know.
We spoke with a couple of the hospital executives, and they were not forthcoming with what their long-term plans are.
Yeah.
I don't think they are looking for partnership opportunities with local governments on what to do with that property long-term. I think that's still an asset of theirs, and I think they're exploring what they can do with it versus what the county or the city do with it. That's just my personal opinion.
Sure.
Based on two conversations with them.
And they lease that from the state? They-
I don't know if it's a leasehold or I don't know that.
Oh, I'm just curious.
But the difference is they're for profit and we're not for profit.
They were saying that it was too expensive to renovate it. I'm not sure. A bigger issue may have just been having to vacate it in the case for a hurricane.
Hurricane,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a big expense.
I think
So
that
that's
was
the answer.
biggest
We
issue.
we don't know.
Yeah.
They probably don't know.
They may not.
Yeah, you may have a point there.
Okay, next one's the signage. This is one that we just talked about.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit, be it nice to have in here. So you have signage that directs you to the downtown or to the library and stuff like that.
I know that there's a pretty big section in the LDC on signage. There's a lot of stuff on signage. I don't think there's anything in there that really addresses the city's signage. It's all about, the private property and commercial businesses, but the city's signage is not really, I didn't see anything in there that addresses like a consistent, design and what's appropriate if you have a marquee and, those kinds of things.
What-
And-
What's your logo going to be on the signs and
yeah,
all
like
that,
kind
right?
of the general signs I'm telling, I don't know, like, other than traffic signs,
Yeah.
They, see a lot of people, and even sometimes ask if they're coming from the north or south, actually. They don't know that there's a parking garage. They're going around in circles looking for parking, and there's a garage. You don't see the garage sign until you're on the garage, basically. You know what I mean? Like if it said parking garage
I
ahead
think
or
we're
something.
behind. I mean, if other cities, when you walk into them or drive into them, they're a little bit more, hey, you want to go to the post office, you want to go to the library,
Yeah.
you want to go to the park. I think I agree with you. I
Something.
think Cocoa Beach is a
I
little
know
bit
a lot,
behind.
also know a lot of people are Googling that stuff, but there's a lot who don't.
Yeah?
Also, yeah.
Main Street has a design committee, and I know that they're working right now for the downtown area on ideas for planters and facades and a lot of things. I don't know if that includes any kind of, like decorative signage, artsy signage for here's the parking structure, here's that kind of thing, exactly what you were talking about. So you may want to talk to Kenny Wells. I don't know who's on that committee. I think Pam Durkin from Coconut Properties might chair it. think she might be the chair.
Well, the signs in the city are very visible, first of all, so they can be a very important part of a community's branding
Yeah.
campaign. And if it's not consistent, if it's just, it can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing, frankly. I was up at Cape Canaveral for a few years. We really kicked off a campaign to come up with a themed signage program for the city. And Cape Canaveral, these two communities are very similar as far as the linear nature of the community and the public interest points along the way. So I think there's opportunities there. It's just a matter of, it would probably be a good CRA project. That's probably where the funding would come from, I would think, or it could. I shouldn't say it will. It could come from that. It makes sense, but it can make a real visual statement for the community. We have so many tourists going through.
Cape Canaveral's area has gotten so much easier. And it's somewhat of a traffic and safety issue, especially when you're going down the port and stuff. When they started adding real signs and not just everyone knowing, we kind of knew where everything was, but they put real signs up with, what was at the port and all that. It helped the traffic a lot.
I will say too that one of the challenges we faced up there was DOT, because most of the signs had to be in the DOT right away.
Right.
And they're not always the most flexible folks to work with.
But the sign for City Hall is nice, and there's a new one that they just put in Shepherd Park, I guess. And that kind of looks similar. It has a little turtle and
That's intentionally.
yeah, it looks pretty common, it's common with this. But the one when you come in from the south on A1A, that little wooden, you ride by it and even know it. And there's
Yeah.
nothing from 520, I don't think, left anymore since the park is ripped up. There's nothing that when you come in from 520, I'm not sure coming in from the north, but
This directional signage was a line item on our agenda every month in 2013. To do this right is not a simple task. It's really difficult, and I would recommend to have some flexibility because things change and you have to have a way to change out the sign and do it. And this takes a design professional to do this, and nobody was willing to commit the funds to really get this done, was my impression. But it's not an easy task. Where you're gonna locate them, how many they're gonna be, which things do you identify, and, what's the design and the theme. Yeah, I think it needs a
Surfboards on every
professional,
corner
and
where you are
you're
here.
gonna spend some money.
Hey, Mike, we got through where to put the city hall and how to design it so we can get through signs.
yes. Okay, I think we had enough on the signs. Flood protection item. What was the next one?
Yeah, flood protection, I think, is something that's coming, especially for the new houses that are being constructed, and a limitation of 25 feet. And if you want flow through underneath to get 25 feet, you can only have one more floor on top. So I think that's something that we got to push a little bit. We've got a couple houses that they're looking at doing some changes. I mean, walls and raising the house up, raising the land up next to people that they're lower. And so we really need to look at how to go forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a policy question. Do we want to make the city more resilient, more future ready? And right now, our regulatory scheme it throws hurdles up for people who want to build out of the box, if you will. And our codes were drafted from the 60s to the 80s. Probably most of our codes were drafted, frankly. And these issues that we're facing today were not considered during that time period. So if as a city we want to give property owners the ability to future ready their homes, And it's not just residents, it's commercial as well. We're gonna have to make some changes to our codes.
And it's
If
not
that's an
only,
important point.
it's not only the residences that are against the ocean or against the river.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go down Coconut Isles Boulevard, those streets, some streets there flood all the time, and they're not even near a canal.
I think, kind of like you were saying, that it's gotten like a mixed bag of what's going on because all the newer buildings, like you said, they're all up high and probably just washes down to their neighbors on both
Yeah.
sides, and it's making it worse. And I think this came up mainly when this building was just all redesigned to allow for it. And I'm like, well, I guess the city hall kind of set the example that this is probably a good thing to do, but no one else really can do it.
But I thought it was.
I mean, they can, but you can do it now, but you just have to stay within the 25 feet, which is,
I
Right.
didn't think it
In the
was allowed to raise
residential
the
zone.
land. I thought you just could go up a little higher if you did a wash-through. In other words, but your land stayed.
You can, but you are measured by the code off the high point of the road, the
Right.
center of the road. So that's where your base is. So if you put, say your driveway or garage is down below for the wash-through, your maximum is from that center of the road, 25 feet high. So if your garage is 10 foot tall, you can only go up 15 more feet.
Yeah, that's what has to be.
So you only have
Right.
one floor, and some people want to have two floors if you're going to go up.
Right. That's what has to be resolved.
And right now, you can build two floors if you go off the curvature of the road or the height of the road.
Right.
Without the wash-through. But I think that's something that we have to start looking at, because what Randy used to say was we're building ourselves one house at a time out of the bowl.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this, to be honest. And this has been my mantra, that we become a safer, more resilient city. You'll hear me say that a million times. So, and that's, the idea I support, but I'm also sensitive about the scale of the community and the height. And I would not support just raising the height. To me, you ought to only be able to raise the height if you use the additional floor for a wash-through for a limited amount of height.
exactly.
Right.
And there may be some other things down that as well. I wouldn't just push the height up. I'd be against that.
Well, I think you'd have to
Yeah,
look
that
at
was the-
stormwater so it doesn't wash into the neighbors' yards.
Right.
You'd have to control your own stormwater, that kind of stuff. So there's, like
And
you
what
say,
you're
there's a
allowed
lot
to
of.
put in that wash-through area, very minimal. It's,
Exactly.
yeah, how it looks. So we talked about it a couple of the meetings, and I'm not sure we ever made a decision on, do we need to do something or not?
There are some communities around that are very progressive when it comes to this topic. And we could get some people to come speak to us. Personally, I like having what I'll call subject matter experts coming in and kind of giving us their experiences, what works, what doesn't work. So if the board would like, we'll be constantly looking for people to come in and provide us with.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be great.
So right now, the wash-throughs are allowed in which districts, which zoning districts? Is it just the mixed use and redevelopment
You can
districts?
basically do it in any neighborhood, but you can meet the height limit. You have to meet that height limit.
Right.
Is there any sense of how much additional height would be needed in order, from a regulatory perspective? What would you need?
As Corey said, you're probably going to want 10 to 12, probably 12 feet for your parking area. Typically, it'll be used for parking. It's non-livable area, so it's going to be like air conditioning, water heaters, that kind of stuff. Two floors on top of that's going to be another 20 feet, so it's going to be 32 feet or so. Right now, it's 25. Not in all of our districts.
Right.
In
Right.
RS1, which is the most restrictive single family, is 25.
So you're looking really, an additional 7 feet would be necessary in order to
Well,
to
it
do
gets
that.
back to the economics again. Do we expect people to buy a property, take the house out, rebuild for one floor? That's gonna be tough. They're probably gonna wanna have at least 2 floors to get that extra square footage to make it sensible.
I do like the
I
idea
believe-
of having it be specifically for that purpose, right, rather than a blanket.
Only that, only if you're doing a wash.
I'd be more inclined to support this in a multifamily district where you might have a group of homes which are all built of the same. But suddenly stick one of these in a RM1 district, I'm choking on a little bit.
Well, there's a lot of RS along the ocean,
Yeah.
RS1s along the ocean, so that's, I mean, if I had that kind of money to have a house over there, I'd want it up high.
And there's some businesses over there, I go to the CrossFit in Cocoa Beach, and every time we get a big rain, there's 2 feet of water in there, they can't use it,
Yeah.
So there's some serious implications for those businesses there, sort of right in the center of town.
For sure.
So I think it would be good, Dave, if you could bring somebody in who's some good experience on
All right,
what's
I'll work on that.
next.
Okay, next is Town Center District.
Yeah, I mean, this topic is really just about what's the board's sense of how the downtown is developing. Are we happy with what's going on in the town center area? From the uses, the scale, the mix of uses between residential and commercial, the pedestrian nature of it, are we happy with all of that? Is there something that we as a city need to tweak to get the results that we're not seeing right now? So this is just more of a, this is truly a discussion item. From a staff perspective, I'm not sure we see any glaring problems downtown at the moment.
No, not really.
I would personally like to
Zoning.
see some more mixed use, kind of like the, what's this project in the beach called?
COA?
Yes, that.
Surf.
So when you talk about
Sir.
town center, you're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about downtown Cocoa
More
Beach?
downtown.
Okay.
More downtown, yeah.
And the new,
Unfortunately, when you have that restriction of 4 stories, developers are not interested. Because particularly, let's say, for example, Heidi's, when Heidi's was for sale, you have to go up 5 or 6 stories for the top units to get a view of the ocean. I mean, you just have to.
Yeah.
But it wasn't allowed, because I knew people were prepared to come in when Heidi's was for sale, prepared to come in and buy it and build a really nice, but they wanted 6 stories. They couldn't get it.
there are a few, like the ice cream place, that looks like it has units above it. I don't know
Yep.
what that building is.
Wave Haven.
Yeah, Wave Haven, whatever,
Yep.
Wave Haven. Above it, looks like it has a couple apartments.
It does,
And there's a
has.
couple places right on A1A that have apartments above their,
And project,
Business.
there's one on 99 North
Not a
Lake.
lot.
I'll go through the projects after
There's
we're
not a
done
lot.
here and give you guys a little update.
some that we don't know are like the new ones, like that you don't see a lot of progress. Like
Yeah,
That Mercado sign has been up, the one on 520, that sign has been, coming and
That's
there's nothing
coming.
there. And there's
that's
Coming a
coming.
while.
You want-
West Bank
would-
one hasn't, I'm not sure.
Would you like me to go through the projects now, since we're on that subject? Could if you want. The Wave Haven was one of the projects. I've got a list of probably 10 or 12 projects that were redevelopment projects for 2025. Wave Haven, like you talked about, with the ice cream underneath, and it's got multi-use. It's got condominiums over and rentals at the top.
That's near the club, there's health club.
Yes.
It's 2 stories.
Correct,
It's retail on the bottom and 1 floor of residential.
correct.
Yeah.
And then it's got 2 condominiums in the back. The City Hall was another one that was finished. The Surf, right at the end, everybody knows where the big swimming pool is. Destination Downtown is the other one on the corner. That was completed this year. The Westin Hotel, I'm sure you guys have all heard fun of that, Everybody loves that pounding that's finally done.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah, everybody loves that one. I'm being told that should be completed 2027, probably first quarter.
Yeah, they're moving. I
Yep.
mean, for Florida, they're moving
Yeah,
really
they are.
fast.
You see changes week to week.
The Westgate Pier,
Yes.
that one, the father passed away and the sons contacted me, and they're looking at putting this thing back on the map. They're going to go back through a different site plan. I don't know if you saw the original design, it was a
Yeah.
Polynesian Disney style.
looking.
They want to change that, they want to change the access roads to the beach to make that more accessible to everybody, so that's in the works, but they're pretty excited to get that going.
But do they have to deal with the county on the roads, and then us with the site plan for the actual
For
development?
anything
Yeah,
for,
okay.
well, no, those roads are ours,
Are you sure?
those are city.
Well, the beach road, I think, is,
I thought the county was involved in the
But-
initial approval.
The county
Maybe-
was involved with the
Access for
Oh,
the
that was for,
Ridgewood.
control.
yeah, for the sand.
Ridgewood is,
Yep.
is the county. It's not local, right?
Yeah, it's but that was all approved, but it sounds like they want to make it even better.
well, I don't know that it
Is
was
the
approved. I-
program essentially the same, parking deck, hotel, and they're just gonna change the
They're
architecture?
gonna, yeah, they're gonna change the access routes, and I think they're gonna have two buildings.
I don't think it was approved. They came
I thought it was, they had to have a traffic study to.
No, I think it was all, the site plan, the original site plan was all approved. Now they're gonna redo it, so it'll have to go through the process again.
Who approved the original site plan?
What, pardon me?
Who approved the original site plan?
The city,
Probably the city and, Yeah.
this board has to approve the site plan, and then it goes to the city.
Yeah, did we refer to the city commission? I thought they just made a presentation and
Yeah,
that there was
they-
no action.
They had, there were a couple things like the size of their garage and also the traffic study and how they were coming in, because that.
must be they
That
completed it.
Ridgewood
then.
Road is a lot different, you know, it's pedestrian friendly with the separation and all, it's different than
I
unloading and
They're
all
gonna,
those.
they're gonna change it so it'll all
And
come
having
back
all of
around
them come
again.
out on A1A is
Okay.
different,
Yeah.
but, because that back road is not necessarily equipped for handling a lot of
You're
traffic.
right, I think the planning, since it's a smaller site, it just comes to the planning board.
Yeah,
So,
they came and made a whole presentation. We had some questions, and then we never saw them again. That was, that's part of my issue with you. These people have like disappeared. So now we
Gotcha.
know, okay.
The Mercado, that's in site plan right now, site plan review. They have come back to change theirs as well.
Now, is that on a staff level?
I'm sorry?
That'll be on a staff level, not a planning board?
Yes, that'll be staff. So if we got 99, North Atlantic. I haven't heard from those guys in a while, but that was the parking underneath in, I think, 2 or 3 floors.
Is that just south of Cosmic Tiki?
Yes,
Okay, they're trying to wrap up, they're trying to get permits from DEP. Once they get that, they're gonna start.
Is that one right next to the Point Church where that is that like?
yes,
Right.
it's across the
Yeah,
street
that's
from
okay.
that church
Gotcha.
thing,
Okay.
yeah. The Drift, 520.
Yeah.
They're back in action. They're running through their site plan right now. We're actually doing some of the reviews as well. Looks like that's going to be a phased project. The 2 restaurants that were down by the water will come in after the fact, after they get the first phase. That's 220 or 21 units, non-vacation rental, not short-term.
Right. They
That's
said
all
that.
long-term rentals.
This is on 520.
On 520, that's called the Drift, yes.
So now they're working with staff, because they were here also.
Yep.
You know, the diner's moving. You know that, right?
I didn't know that was moving yet, but I
Yeah,
figured
the
it.
diner's moving to the Moon Hut up in Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, I think they let them stay there, out like rent-free or something.
Yeah, but now they're moving.
Yeah. Well, that means that they're gonna start digging probably.
Yep.
They can't start digging until they get their permit, though. We gotta get through the site plan.
Okay.
And the other one is Stina, that's the glass bank. That one's kind of been sitting out there. I've asked the sisters, and I haven't heard much from them, other than they were looking at getting the money together.
Last month it was on the market. I don't know if it's still on the market. And they may
Oh,
have just
really?
thrown it out. Yeah, I saw it on
maybe it's-
Zillow or one of the real estate sites.
Okay. I'll have to follow up with them again and see what's going on.
Yeah, ownership didn't change hands, they must have just had an option.
Yeah, maybe.
Throw it out there, see what's happening.
And of course, we have houses going up here and there for rebuild and stuff.
There
as
were
well.
2 other pretty big proposals. One was, God, his name started with a B. He was the developer, and it was right next to the Hampton Inn and the Marriott residents in there, you know, those two big buildings on the, he came in, remember him? But, was it Bogner? What was his name?
My surf drive?
Can't remember.
It's right next to those two hotels. I don't know what the name of the street is. Surf Drive, I think you're right, yeah. So if they came and they made a proposal also and it had a site plan, the whole thing.
I'll check.
And
I
the
don't-
other one was the piece of property just between Manatee Lane and the church.
Behind the church.
Now there's a for sale sign there now. They came, they also made a whole presentation on a site plan.
Talking on the south end here?
Methodist.
No.
Methodist Church, First
The
Methodist.
Methodist Church and,
There.
and Manatee Lane and the 7-Eleven, that piece.
I will do some research and see what's shaking.
Well, I know there's a for sale sign on there.
Okay, well, things have changed apparently.
Yeah.
Would you say the
remember anything
property
else?
value is what? Too expensive,
Do you
yeah.
remember anything else that came to
Hard to
us?
make
That's
a
all I
dollar
can
when you can't
remember.
go over 45 feet, I guess. And that's what I have for redevelopment projects.
Okay, thanks.
Any questions with, no?
It's all over the city, that's not just town center, right? That's throughout the city that you were.
Yeah, that's throughout the city. Those were the major ones that were happening. That's what we were kind of following.
And Dirty Birds will be opening probably in 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Development of 142.
Yeah,
Yep.
I ran into Dan, he said they'll probably open around first week in October.
Yeah, they're getting close.
I think the obstacle to development downtown, again, gets around the ownership of land. Gus Hedberg's laid this out to be single-family homes across the board, and so you still have a lot of small individual-owned properties. We may want to think about provide some relief and incentives to people to consolidate those properties so that they can actually build a project. That's something that I've been thinking about.
Yeah, I know communities use their CRAs for assemblage projects. That can be a very expensive endeavor though, but that's a possibility.
all right. So the next item is beach shuttle service.
Don't we already have the trolley?
There is is that enough for the weekend?
I don't know.
I think since we talked about that even is, a lot of things have kind of been added, like we have golf cart and golf cart rentals and those little three-wheeler rentals and scooters and e-bikes and all that. So that probably helps get people around to certain places without having to drive a car.
So you haven't heard anything out there in the streets
The only,
about?
the only thing that you see really, and it may not be an issue, I don't know how well, I don't know what the usage of the parking garage. On the weekends, it seems busy. And I think that's the only thing that I see, people struggling to bring all their beach stuff. And partly maybe because the elevator, I don't know, the elevator hasn't been working, or I don't know if it is now, but to get them from the garage, which we want to incentivize people to use it, but getting there to the beach is kind of a haul for some people, you know, to take a
Sure.
bunch of stuff to the beach.
Yeah,
And that's, to me, that's the only, like,
They have
one.
options, though. There's a bunch of places that you can pay to park behind the Zion Church. You can. pay to
Yeah,
park
yeah,
in the
only if you want to, I mean,
Surface.
kind of, I think the city wants them to use the parking garage as much as we want it to be full since we built it, but
yeah. And I
it's
think,
not always easy. It's easier to park everywhere else, really, if you
I
can
think
find a
too, when they
spot.
get the pier done, that may relieve some of the pressure down here.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be, what's the word, not trapped there, but they go to the hotel and they're captive to that place right there that they don't have to drive.
Yeah, it's like one stop.
Does Pier still run the shuttle on Ocean Beach Boulevard to go from the hotel to the pier?
I don't know.
Well, they have trolley now that I think they use for that. They also have, do you know that they have what's called a shopping shuttle that goes to Ron John's, I know, and here, I know it's Ron John's in Flohanna, and I'm not sure where else, but then it goes over to Merritt Island, and it goes to Walmart, and it
Walmart,
goes
Macy's,
to
what?
Ross.
Wow.
And it's, I guess it's paid for by the people who are involved in
store.
this.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's really for the pier people, it's for the, I call them the boat
Wow.
people. It goes to the pier, it picks them up, and takes them around shopping.
I've never heard of that. That's a great idea, though. I mean, for the realtors, the real estate.
Yeah, you should
are-
talk to Jake from Flohanna, he's involved in it.
Okay.
That's another good thing. I don't think many people even know it exists. So, like, you know, how do you might just happen upon knowing that, you know, but I think there's a lot of people who don't know.
I was recently approached by a private group who wanted to buy a fleet of street legal golf carts to do exactly what we're talking about, is to provide shuttle service around the city and up and down the beach between the port and Cape and Cocoa Beach. So,
I know there used to be one woman who had that double 2 or 3 seat wide one that ran up and down Brevard Avenue to the places and all you could call. She had a big sign. I don't think it's there anymore. She had a sign on both sides. This was years ago. She doesn't do it anymore, but it's something like that where it's
That's
just.
what's missing.
Yeah, it's
The late
just
night.
keeping them off of the roads at those bar stops and, you know, whatever, running to the hotels and stuff like that. It keeps them
In
kind of.
Brooklyn, they have the drunk bus.
The drunk bus.
Legitimate, it's
Yeah.
legitimate. You get on the bus and it goes from bar to bar to bar to bar to bar to bar to bar, all around Brooklyn. But we had her, she had that tiki
Do you remember? her?
golf cart, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
there
what we're
anymore.
missing. If you ask something that we're missing as far as transportation and moving people around, it's late at night, because the trolley stops, the bus stops, and there's,
the bus is on a route too.
yeah,
Yeah.
You need that, I call it that last mile option of
Yeah, this was just you call up the number on the side of the thing and they'll come
Yeah.
anywhere around that certain area and drive you home or whatever.
I like the golf cart idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I'm kind of,
I just worry a little bit about the safety of it. The traffic here, it just, you know, people aren't paying attention to golf carts as much.
You're from New York and you're worried about traffic.
Hey,
Come on.
that's why I moved here.
no, I think.
yeah, and to be honest, the one that
That's why I
did,
moved here, to get away from all that stuff.
My suggestion is throw that out on Wake Up Cocoa Beach and see the kind of feedback you get.
to be honest, most of the people who were using that were not on A1A. They were on Brevard or just cutting across the street.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. They weren't driving up and down
Yeah.
A1A. They were on
That's
Brevard.
what I worry about is the A1A
Yeah.
stuff. It's just-
Well, you can't go, there's certain places you can't go with the golf carts.
Right.
You can't go
You
up and
can't.
down,
If it's street legal, you can.
Oh,
right.
they changed that too.
Yeah.
So
Be
now we
It has to have a license plate and go 35 miles an hour,
Yeah.
at least.
Seat belts, headlights, turn
Right.
signals, the whole.
You haven't seen really dangerous little, remember those little carts they used to rent, the little,
Well, now they have the
they were
slingshot.
scary to
What were they?
follow. Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You see those slingshots that they have all over the city?
Oh, I see, yeah.
Okay, so I think maybe we don't have as big of an issue. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if a private company would really follow up on doing it, you know, have them see how it
Connecting downtown to
goes.
the pier and-
Is a
and-
big-
Especially, you know,
Yeah,
you could, right now, you're either going downtown or you're going to the other one, and that's it. And especially as there's gonna be more, the hotel's going up, the business that's, you know, you think about the ice cream place, the in Publix parking lot over there, and, you
Yeah.
know, there's,
yeah.
you could connect a lot
Mm-hmm.
of different things that way.
Well, we have two downtowns. We have a downtown and uptown downtown.
You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you're right about that.
Okay, next is the vacation rental. Everybody sighs.
Yeah, I'll start this out. I mean, we've had our vacation rental up and running program up and running for, let's say, in earnest for 4 or 5 months. And it has been very, very successful, you know, depending on what metrics you want to use, but the ones that we are using, it's been super successful. We've got a lot of new folks registered for the program. Our revenues really skyrocketed. I think this last year we budgeted revenues of $40,000. We ended up bringing in this year 400,000, something like
Good.
that. It was crazy.
Good. good. So people are actually registering, that's good.
Yeah, so, and this is anecdotal completely, but I've not heard a lot of, the level of complaints, the amount of complaints we had 6 months ago on vacation rentals. You may have a different reality than I do, but I think things are settling down there. And what we're really focusing on now is I'll call them all the good actors, are playing by the rules and doing everything. There's this group out there, though, that are under the radar. And we're slowly kind of getting them into the corral. But things are a lot better.
The only complaint, quite frankly, that I'm hearing is people who have been residents here for a long time, much longer than me, are saying to me, I don't have a neighborhood anymore. I used to have a neighborhood, and I would go outside, and I knew the people across the street, and I knew my next-door neighbor there, and I knew my next-door neighbor here, and we had a neighborhood. She said, that is a vacation rental, that is a vacation rental, they're building a new house next to me, that's going to be a vacation rental, that one's going to be a vacation rental. And I was like, what? And I understand now, they have lost their neighborhoods. And unfortunately, there's really nothing that the city can do about that.
Very little.
I think some of it's changing. And this is something that I'm seeing in some of the renewals that are happening. People are going to long-term. It's still a rental, but
Right.
they're going to long-term.
Which is fine.
Which is a lot better than a weekend stay and tearing it
Absolutely.
up. There's something like 700 right now that are registered, that are playing by the rules. And as we try to renew them, they're saying, look, I don't want to do the vacation rental anymore, whether it's the money, because it costs more to do vacation rental than it does for long-term. Long-term, it's a lot cheaper. But we're seeing pretty good turnout on at least being registered. And our next step would be, like today, I got a phone call. This lady turned in the president of the condo association. He's got 4 units, none of them are registered. She goes,
Good for her.
yeah. So I said, well, let's see if I can help you get something done about that. So,
But I think it's gotten way better. It seems like it's calmed down and kind of got it corralled, and you understand it's a little more controlled and
well, we have
all
the
that,
people.
so.
All the money that we collected, we were able to get some more code enforcement
Right,
people
to
that
keep
help
them
us.
on,
keep
kind of keep them in
everything-
line, not so like, random pop-up things
Agreed.
here and there. The thing that I think is the same as like there's a certain part of the residents that it's kind of blurred the line between residential section and a vacation rental. It's blurred the line. I don't know in the land, like in the permitted use table, all the different categories, where a vacation rental is allowed. It's not even listed.
Everywhere in Florida.
It's not even listed, you know?
Unless
And so-
it's controlled by the condo association or the homeowner association.
Yeah, I'm just surprised
much.
it's not even in there. Like, vacation rentals can be in any one of those categories, anywhere. And,
We can't control the decisions they make in Tallahassee.
right,
Yep.
right.
That's the sad, and also, I tell people who complain to me, the city's not doing anything. Well, you know that that's a vacation rental. Do you think the city does? Maybe they don't. It's
Yeah.
up to you. You're supposed to be
You-
calling.
they can
them,
look
and
right
I give them-
online in the
I give them your
city.
number all the time.
They can look on the website, on the city website, and see if they're registered.
Yeah.
They don't even have to call us. They can look themselves.
So where do we end up on the fees? Do they have to register every year?
They have to register so the BTR, basically renewal BTR is around $35, and that's business tax receipt,
How much?
about 35. Somewhere in that, on average, renewal. The vacation rental registration is another part of that, and that's anywhere from $250 per person or $149 per person. So if you advertise 2 people, you're not going to pay as much as somebody that advertises, I can hold 8 people.
But if somebody hasn't registered, isn't there a penalty fee that they have to pay?
Oh, yeah.
How much is that?
That gets like $250 a day for the first $500 the first day, $250 a day after that. I mean, it adds up quick. And then they have to go to the magistrate, and, I mean, it can get pretty bad. Normally, when you let the person know that, hey, this is what could happen, let me pay. Let me pay. So we've got a little bit of leverage now to help get them closed out. And it's a good thing.
Is there any kind of incentivization for longer-term rentals versus shorter-term rentals?
Yeah, long-term rentals, you don't have to get vacation rental
You don't have to
registration.
do anything?
No.
Okay.
It's all tied to the BTR,
You don't pay the hotel tax, so.
yeah.
We had, Warren, is a lot of a very great number of the owners were from out of town. They were from out of state, and this is a business.
Yep.
Now it's becoming a business that they actually have to pay for because they have to get somebody, hire somebody to be here and before they didn't have to worry about that.
About
Wild, Wild
1/3
West for a while.
That's a big difference.
About 1/3 of the vacation rentals are owned by people who live in the city.
Makes sense to me. I mean, you would think.
And I hear a lot of them whine a little bit about, well, I can't rent it, I'm not getting the rentals, this is high, I can't afford to pay this. And then you look at it and they say, they only have 4 units that they're renting. Yeah, you poor person. But, yeah.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's making progress.
It's definitely moving along in the right direction. Yep.
And then, is this the new one, the vehicle sales and rentals? Is that the one that you just added?
Oh, the last one is vehicle sales and rentals. This wasn't on the original. We added it on to discuss. Everybody has it on their paper there. But basically, we've been receiving questions and inquiries about, can I put up a rental company here, or can I put in a car sales lot here? And our code doesn't allow for those kind of situations everywhere. There's one zone that they're allowed to basically have a car rental, and that's really to support a building, a hotel that you say, I've got 500 rooms and I want to have some car rentals for the people that are staying at the hotel, and they can run that kind of business out of there. But it's really tied, 50 units or more, a complex of 50 units or more. It has to be in the RM2 zone. Accessory use within a transient lodging facility.
So it's like,
Right now, our code says across the board, no.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
but rentals.
But rentals are allowed in association with a hotel or a big multifamily project of 50 units or more. So the question is that, are we, as a community, are we good with that? Are we good with the sales issue, prohibiting it? Are we good with allowing rentals, or automobile rentals in strictly associated with hotels and multifamily, larger multifamily projects? Do we want to loosen that up at all? Do we want to tighten that up? Do we want to, I mean, it's just, we've been getting, the market seems to be, if we can consider 3 or 4 people coming in and talking to it in the last few months, is that reflective of something? I don't know. But,
Do they say where? Like, again, the land is so expensive. Like, where are they thinking? to
No,
have it?
they were just
Well, Hilton has,
feeling us out.
we didn't get that far.
the Hilton has
They have those
slingshot.
slingshots that you were talking about.
I don't have a problem with like the Hilton or the new Westin coming, or Beachside has some things a couple of slingshots, but I'm not sure about condominiums.
Is this
Sure
just
about
for
that.
hotels?
Pardon?
Is this for hotels?
Right now, the code says you can do it with hotels of 50 units or more, so that's all of our hotels.
Okay.
Yep.
Or multifamily, like, condo buildings.
Like Xanadu or Beachwind,
Xanadu would be
they
one
can do
of
it?
the- They could if somebody wanted to,
Are they limited to only renting to the residents, or they could rent to anyone?
rent to anybody.
Oh, then most of those places are not.
Yeah, and a lot of,
For example, I'm thinking of some larger, like, Cape Royal building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's would an auto rental place on that property right now, you can't do it. But,
Where's the
Yes.
closest one? Is there one in Cape Canaveral still?
I'm sorry?
Where's the closest car rental place? Is there
Yeah,
one in
that'd
Cape
be-
Canaveral?
That'd be Cape Canaveral, except
Yeah.
Canaveral about 5 years ago basically kicked them out of the city. They're saying that you can own, the ones that were there, they're grandfathered in, you can stay. But any new ones have to go in the industrial districts of the city, which is way up on the north end of the city by the port.
Port, yeah.
They don't have great road access, so for all intents and purposes.
There's
they're
like
not
3 of them in Merritt Island on 520 across from Walmart. There's a whole bunch of them there.
Oh, are there some in there?
Yeah, because most of the, I found out because my car was in an accident, most of the insurance companies use, for this area, use the ones in, the one in Merritt Island.
Talking the one near like Tesla, like on.
Yeah, right there. They've got Enterprise and I think Avis and another one.
So we've got, like the three-wheel, what are they, somebody mentioned the name of them.
The slingshot.
The slingshots, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are my understanding is Florida statute considers those an automobile. So would that be appropriate with a slingshot renting at I'm gonna use the Cape Royal. If you had 10 or 15 of them out there in front, in the parking lot somewhere renting, is that appropriate? I don't know, it's a land use decision. Right now, we say no, but, is that something that would be,
Where are they now again? I know you can rent them. Just-
Because they have the big parking lot.
Yeah.
Hilton has
Hilton has
a
a
whole section.
section.
There's maybe about,
Hilton's the only one I've seen.
yeah.
and
I-
Beachside
There used
has
to
a
be
couple in the back.
kind of, what was the old Comfort Inn? I don't know what it's called now. Next to Ron John's, there's a few in the parking lot there.
Yeah, but it's Beachside now.
Is
Is
that
that, was it
Beachside?
Beachside? Yeah, it's up there. They have a few, I've seen a few, I know they have a golf cart or two, and I've seen a few of the slingshots in the back.
But the requests you're getting are not for something like that. They're asking like a real car rental place, like an Avis or
Car
something.
sales as well, you were saying.
Car sales
That's part of this. They're asking about car
Probably-
sales as
Well,
well.
sales is pretty much a no for the city.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that, but renting them out, little niche markets just like that, where maybe you have exotic cars, maybe you have stuff like that.
Those multifamily
By the
buildings are
hotels.
zoned residential, and I think they should stay residential.
Let me ask a question. You said you've been approached on this issue. Have you been approached by the hotelers or the rental cars?
Rental,
Not the
Ven-
hoteliers.
What's that?
yeah, not the hotel people,
So it's been the rental car people.
yeah. And they would probably approach a hotel if they could get it done,
Right.
and
Right now, they haven't done that because it's not permitted. They're asking that.
I mean, I think, from my perspective, you have the rental places in Canaveral. There's plenty of access there for rentals. I'm not really seeing where the upside would be, unless it was a tax revenue kind of thing for the city. I'm not really seeing where the residents of Cocoa Beach would be looking for increased access,
I also feel like we ought to put a lid on it, up to a certain number of cars. I don't want
Yeah.
to, I'm not sure I
Like a
want the rental car companies to
Carvana.
arrive
Yeah,
and be on the hotel site. If they have a couple spaces, that's fine, but
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
nice little
so-
amenity for a car hotel, but I don't think we
Yeah.
should go any further than that.
It seems like it's reasonable kind of where you are.
so are rental car agencies prohibited right now in the city?
If you are a rental car agency could go at a hotel,
They could,
they could today.
but they'd have to apply. And do we have any limits on how big that will be?
There's nothing, as far as I know, there are no restrictions to what could go there.
Right.
When we put the new codes in place in Canaveral, we added a lot of stuff, a lot of conditions, number of cars that had to be accessed by a signalized intersection. Because one of the problems we were having with these little Avis and Budget stripping up and down A1A is on boat days, with the buses coming in and out to drop people off and pick them up, it was creating these horrible traffic jams. And the sheriff's department up there had to get involved all the time, and it was just a nightmare. So we added a lot of conditions to try to limit all of that stuff. They weren't allowed to do service vehicles. We didn't want basically people working on cars, repairing cars, so that was all prohibited. They had to take those off-site somewhere else and do them. So there was things that we added to the code to allow for smaller operations to meet a need, but not growing into this huge behemoth that became a land use problem, conflict, so.
So you could direct them to a hotel, they could contract with a hotel, I guess, to get, in effect, some service, but it wouldn't be their own,
Yeah, if they could
land.
find a willing hotel.
Yeah, I mean, they could,
Who was interested, yes, they could do that.
they could do that now.
Yeah, they
But
could
they-
do that now.
They're not gonna wanna staff this, right? You can pick up the car there, but the key has to be left somewhere so you can get in the car. And they're not gonna put a staff person at a hotel, I don't think, are they?
No, they'd have to have some type of,
An agreement with the hotel, right?
oh, yes.
That's what I'm saying, they could
Exactly,
contract
yes.
directly with the hotel and,
Like they bring the car over and they leave the keys at the front desk and then you could go pick it up? Is that the way it works?
Yeah, that or they just have almost like a self-contained operation. They have a little shack.
a little
Right.
kiosk or something where they.
Picture like the airport where there's a little
Yes.
thing in there.
Yes.
But again, I'm sorry.
No, please. go
I've seen
ahead.
that in hotels.
A hotel, when hotels get their approvals, they get their approvals of their room count, they get their approval for the site plan
The number
to
of
have so
parking
many
spaces.
parking spots in commensurate with, so it has to be either the Hilton or the other one, the Hilton Garden, because I can't think of anybody else who has that size parking lot.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's one of the conditions that we added up there, up north of here, is you cannot dedicate the number of spaces to your automobile rental facility to create a deficit in the
Right.
required parking for the hotel.
Right.
So that was.
Those are the only two I can think of that have parking lots big enough.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean, again, right now, it's fairly restrictive. And that's a community policy decision. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that due to the requirements, there's really limited on the number of auto rental facilities that can come to the city. And that may be a good thing for the community. That's a decision that the planning board and the council or commission will have to make. I'm just saying that we're being approached by folks saying, hey, let's loosen these up a little bit so we can, there's more sites that will be potentially worth.
Thanks, but no thanks.
All right.
So I think there's a consensus on the board that that's not,
Doesn't
I
sound-
don't think I'd be in favor.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's a resounding yes. Sounds like we're kind of agreeing it's probably,
Places where hotels now don't have a front desk. You just rent a place and you go there and there's a lockbox that you have the combination to. You get the key out and you go in, that's it. Is there a way they can do that with the cars too? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
No, the ones I've seen are literally almost like a car rental place in the hotel. They have like their own little person that you go to
yeah.
next to the check-in area of the hotel.
next year would be AI, so don't worry about it.
I think that's probably it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like we have some items that we'll
Or research
keep
and we'll,
research and come back and
we'll
maybe
keep
get some
coming back,
experts
yeah.
and things and kind of keep it going.
And say, we'd entertain this on a very limited basis. What are you proposing?
as far as the car
Yeah.
rentals.
Yeah,
I mean, if.
they know what they can do, we
Yeah.
don't.
Right. I mean, okay.
okay. I think that concludes our list for today. I know we have a lot of homework, and then when I say we, I mean me and Dave.
Did you have any other board reports other than the report that you went
No,
over on
since we've already
status?
gone through that, no, I'm good. Thank you.
And do any of the committee members have any reports? Mike? Okay, thank you.
I will
Meeting-
make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
We have a second. All in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.